back in Proverbs today, Proverbs chapter 14, verse 22, which says, "In all toil there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty." I like this verse a lot. In all toil there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. There's an illustration that I was given one time, and I've always liked this. It took me a while to really grasp it, but I'll explain it to you. That there was an army that needed to get across the river. And moving an army across the river is a big deal. And the general spoke to his engineers and said, "You've got to find a way to get us across the river, and you have until tomorrow to figure out a plan, and then tomorrow we'll execute it." So the word went out to the army, and they said, "Tomorrow we're going across the river. You need to get ready." Well, all night the engineers plan and they consider things and they go through the math of it all and the logistics of it. And the next morning they all get up and they're ready to present their plan to the general, but they look across the river and they see that the cooks are already across the river. And the cooks are making breakfast and that it's coming from across the river. Well, what's the point of the story? The point is the engineers sat there thinking and planning and coming up with a plan, which I'm sure was good. Meanwhile, the cooks who weren't engineers just thought that's what needed to be done. So they got to work and figured it out. And I love that story because it reminds me, and I've had to learn this lesson in my own life, that talking is good, coming up with plans is good, organization, they say, right, 1 hour of planning saves you 10 hours of work, but you got to do the work. And he's talking here about profit and poverty, man. If all you can ever do is talk about what you're going to do someday, that tends only to poverty. People who love to talk about someday I'm going to get my act together, someday when I finally execute my plan, and you sit in judgment of other people and what they're doing, right? You say, "Well, these businessmen are all corrupt, and that's no way to do it, and if I ran this restaurant, it wouldn't go this way," and you've got all kinds of plans, but you never do anything about it. The guy that actually gets to work is the one that is going to have profit, so to speak. I believe it was Winston Churchill, it could have been Roosevelt, one of those guys, right? One of those guys. They said that a poor plan violently executed is better than a perfect plan, right? You can sit around and come up with the perfect way to do it, that's great. Or you can take what you have, which might not be as good, and just get to work on it. Just be vigorous in the way that you go about life. And this is such an important thing. And Solomon knew this as a king, watching people come into him. He's seeing people come and talk about their plans and my money isn't being given to me. And as he's going through the judgments, and you can picture him turning to his son or turning to somebody next to him and says, "Mere talk tends only to poverty, but in all toil there is profit." So hey guys, get to work. Don't spend all your time complaining about the system and how it's broken. Don't spend all your time thinking, well, if it's not perfect, then I can't execute it. You know what's going to happen? Guys who are less talented than you, less structured, less imaginative, less creative than you are going to get ahead of you because they're going to be working hard. And the Lord wants you to work hard. He wants you to have profit. We're going to talk about that later this week in this chapter in Proverbs. He talks about it's a good thing to do well in life. And it's no shame in being poor unless the reason you are poor is that you can't get to work. All you ever do is talk. Don't be that guy. Get to work, get it done, get out today and work towards what you want your life to be today. What's one thing you can do today? And then make that happen, and then do two things tomorrow and see what happens. All toil leads to profit, but talk just tends to poverty. Get to work, guys. God bless.